We are inching closer and closer to the weekend, everyone. Welcome into the News 10 Plus Digital Desk. We are rocking our blue and our white because it is NFL Draft Day.
It's Draft Day, so we are so excited. How excited are you?
Very excited. I mean, it's the first time they're hosting it in Detroit, so I know everyone's pumped up. I'm sure it's craziness down in Detroit. I cannot imagine all the crowds and the traffic and the lane closures, but or the road closures, but I know Nicole is down there.
Yes, she is. So she's giving us a full play-by-play of everything on the streets, everything in the crowds. And of course, all of our eyes are going to be on the football players, and we'll get a chance to see what teams that they're going to. But what's even more exciting is that this is a really family-friendly event as well. So there's a lot of games, a lot of activities, a lot of food.
Oh, yes.
Vendors, a lot of different things going on for families and other people there.
That is not what I wanted. Sorry, apologies. There we go.
That's all right, exactly. That is what all of our eyes are on. So she's actually down there in Detroit. She made it. She made it safely, thankfully. And so she's, like I said, she'll be giving us a full play-by-play. She'll basically be our tour guide.
Oh, I like that.
Our host, of course, as always, but our tour guide for all things NFL drafts this weekend. So I'm so excited to see what she's been up to.
Yes.
And who knows if she'll make it back for tomorrow. I was going to say, I'm sure she'll have so much fun down there, she'll probably want to stay there, is what I mean.
There you go. Or it'll be a tiring time. I mean, that's a lot of energy. You know, when you get so excited and then eventually it just starts coming down, you're like, whew,
I don't think
I
you
need
can
a break.
come down from this because this is just day one.
I know. It's
3.
continuing until Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So, my goodness, but I know for sure that I won't be anywhere near there because the traffic, I'm sure, will be crazy. But we'll be talking about that all hour long. But, of course, that's not the only sporting thing happening in the state of Michigan. This Saturday, the Lansing chapter of Zeta Phi Beta are actually putting together a sports clinic and sports fair. So basically they're helping a lot of the youth in the area get their sports physicals in advance. And we're talking about a lot of different tips and things that we can do, especially as parents, to help, be better kind of leaders in terms of our households, in terms of our youth's health. So we have 2 ladies joining us today from the chapter, and they'll be talking all about that this afternoon, and of course how you can bring your youth as well. So that's exciting.
Yeah, and knock out those physicals.
Exactly, which is always great to do them early in advance, especially because a lot of sports start earlier in the summer. They do a lot of clinics in the summertime. So again, more ways that our community is just helping each other out and being that helping hand. So we're going to go over that all today.
Yes, and physicals are one of those things that you kind of just like forget about. And then when you do need it, you're like scrambling, like, oh my gosh, is there an appointment available? When can I get the child in? Yeah, no, that's...
And these are all being done free of cost as well. So, which is really great. So we have more of those details all for you later in the hour. Plus, we have our You're Not Alone story. Yeah. So as our statewide campaign, as you know, we're looking to focus more on mental health and a lot of the resources that we have for people. Yeah. So today, we're talking about the firefighters in Jackson and how they're just making more conversations and spaces available to really talk about what it's like being in that line of duty and some of the issues it is that they face and what's going on there. So we're going to open up that conversation today.
Because they're working in those emergencies to save people's lives, and it's a very quick turnaround. And that's, again, when something that quickly happens, you almost need someone, not almost, you do need someone there to also take care of you.
Exactly. So, there are first responders for us, but what about them? Who's there for them on their line? Exactly. So we're going to open up that conversation and talk to them today. Plus, then like I said, we've got a packed, busy day. We are talking about the Mason Masquerade Ball, an event that all of you guys can join as well. You know, Mason, right on over in our 517, one of my favorite places, if I could be honest. I really love Mason. But they are putting together a Masquerade Ball to help with funding the renovation of their Mason library.
Well, let me pull up a live look of Mason real quick so we can take that look over. Give me just a second here. There we go. Oh, it's looking nice in Mason, too.
Woo! Beautiful.
That is beautiful.
Okay, can I also say, you know what today is?
Let's hear it.
April 25th. Not too hot, not too cold, just a light jacket. The perfect day.
Light jacket.
I mean, we'll have to check in with Andy and we'll have to ask me if that is correct, but by the looks of it, it's light jacket weather.
Oh, yeah.
Love it.
It's looking good. It's looking good. Well, we will have to check in with Andy coming up at 3 o'clock for Studio 10. All the fun. We'll take one last live look over Motown because, you know, in Detroit, they are getting ready for the NFL. I mean, it's already kicking off.
Yeah, if anything, Nicole can bring us back some food. Ooh. Give me a t-shirt, a Lions t-shirt.
Some merch,
yes.
some food.
Absolutely.
The energy.
Yeah. Ooh,
all of the above.
In fact, let me text her and see after the show. But yes. But otherwise, we got a lot of things going on in Studio 10 today, as you just heard. And if you need to watch, re-see anything, if you need more of those tour guides and you want to review that Nicole's going to give us today, make sure you head to our YouTube, our Facebook, our everything. Same handle. At WILX Studio 10.
All right,
so
thank you, Marsha. We will see you then.
I'll see ya.
Very exciting stuff. Well, of course, you can stay up to date with Studio 10 and see if any fun from the NFL draft is being posted on their social media handles. All you have to do, again, is head over to WILX Studio 10. And if you're a business, head over to studio10 at WILX.com. That's a great place to contact them. If you want to do any advertising, or if Studio 10 is doing any giveaways, you out in the public can email them the little code word, which they're not having any right now, but just for future reference, that is where you can go to, or comment on their Facebook page. So again, social media handles, WILX Studio 10, and to reach out to them over email, studio10 at WILX.com. But of course, if you want to tune in for any of the fun that Rochelle was talking about, you can head over to their YouTube page. Again, I just searched WILX Studio 10, and you're able to look back at any of the fun. So of course, yesterday they were at Big B for their buy one, give one, and great event right there. So make sure to go check that out. And of course, Andy here, what's on your bucket list? Check out some fun weather-related things too. And switching over to the weather, I know we were taking a live look over Mason not too long ago. And if you go to WILX.com, I'll show you how you can get here for some of those updates. So you go to our main page, you can click on the top blue bar, First Alert Weather. From there, you're going to see Darren has an update. And if you click Read More, so they just give you sometimes a sentence, sometimes a little paragraph, a little synopsis of what you can expect throughout the day. But click Read More, because then from here, you can see we're going to drop again back to near freezing. So if you have those plants, those crops outside, you want to cover them or bring them inside if you can. Make sure that they're not, getting any, they might be at risk from that freeze. So make sure you are covering them like Darren says right here. And you can scroll down and see the almanac information from previous years. And wow, it was very warm in Lansing in 1915, back on this day, April 25th. But of course, you can check out a lot more. You get the wind, the dew point, what it feels like outside, sunrise, sunset. Of course, those sunsets are getting later and later, which is great. And heading down to your hourly, you can have your 3-day temperature, your 10-day, and your weekend, which if you take a look at that, it is looking beautiful this weekend. Darren, during News 10 today at 11, was saying that, yes, there will be scattered showers and scattered thunderstorms Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, you're seeing the scattered showers in mid-70s. And then higher 70s on Sunday with those scattered thunderstorms. And I was asking him earlier, I was like, I've got some events happening this weekend. Will this be affected? And he said, well, they're scattered, so it's not going to be an all-day rain or soak. So just make sure you're keeping an eye on the forecast. And you can do that right here on WILX.com. So Crystal was showing yesterday the radar right here. And you can also set the location right here. And this is the past, but if we go to the future, you can take a look at that too. So we're gonna play this out. Oh, there we go. But yeah, nothing in the radar as of now, but check back again Saturday, Sunday for your weekend forecast to get a more in-depth look at that. And of course, our meteorologist will update you on everything going on with the weather and the showers. But also, do want to show you the First Alert Weather app, because it's always a great tool to get those notifications and stay up to date with what's happening in the forecast. And not only that, but you can get the video updates from our meteorologists, from Darren Rockwell, from Andy Provenzano, Colton Sikoraki, and Justin Bradford. And you also get hour by hour. You get your temperatures, more of your 7-day forecast, excuse me, and just many different alerts and ways to check out your forecast. However it is fitting for you, make sure you go check that out. Another thing is you can check traffic alerts. I know with the NFL draft getting very busy and all the construction season happening across Michigan, of course, us Michiganders know about that, and it can be quite frustrating. So make sure you go check it out. We will post those traffic alerts up on the First Alert Weather app. And you can also download our WILX News 10 app as well for all of those latest news updates as well. Before I switch it over to news, we'll take another live look over Mason. because it is just looking beautiful out there. You have the beautiful blue skies, and also I do want to show you a live look at the Falcon Cam over Spartan Stadium. They are just hanging out. I believe that is Freya, the mother. That is her name, Freya, and they got the 4 eggs. So let me pull that up for you. Very cool stuff. And again, we spoke with the MSU Fisheries and Wildlife Club president on when the eggs are expected to hatch. And she said by next week or within the next week. So we're going to continuously be checking in on the MSU Falcon Cam on top of Spartan Stadium to give you the latest looks into the eggs, see if anything fun is coming up, if they're hatching yet. We'll just continue updating you when that happens. So I do want to give a couple of other live looks across mid-Michigan. We're going to take one across MSU, Michigan State University. It's looking great on campus. And I know students are taking their finals. They're getting their final projects done this week. And then they're on summer break once Friday is over. So congrats to all of those Michigan State University students and other students in the area graduating this week and weekend as well. That is amazing. Huge accomplishment, and best of luck on what you're doing after college. You know, if you go into grad school, you're getting your master's, if you plan on, you know, trying out a few jobs, maybe continue an internship, maybe you're like, hey, I'm not done with it yet. I want to take another semester. Well, we'll see you back next year. But for those who are graduating, congratulations and go green. But of course, a lot of people, again, we'll take another live look in Detroit because this is so cool. NFL Draft again. News 10 and Studio 10 are there all day. And again, as Rochelle was saying not too long ago, Nicole Buckman is live in Detroit. And she is going to be bringing you all of the excitement, talking about the food, talking about the entertainment, the energy, and just the whole atmosphere of the NFL Draft. The first one that Detroit is hosting. So very exciting. Better have your Honolulu blue today, or at least some type of blue and white, because this is such a huge event. We have lots of excitement, and it looks like things are just getting going more and more. They got some videos playing on the screen right there, and you can see more of those people filing into the crowd too. So that's just really exciting to check out. But of course, here on News 10 and on Studio 10, we will make sure to keep you updated on all the fun happening with the NFL Draft in downtown Detroit. That is so exciting. But yes, we want to share what else is coming up today on First at 4 and our 90 minutes of news. So on Mid-Michigan Matters today on First at 4, we're talking about affordable housing on this week's Listening to America. So Peter Zampa is going to be sharing how most Americans are spending more than half of their paycheck on rent. Okay, the rent prices are rising. It's taken a lot out of people's pockets, and we're going to share how why this is happening and if anything can be changed. Again, so talking about affordable housing in place of Mid-Michigan Matters today for this week's Listening to America. So that is what we have coming up. Just make sure to stay tuned with that. And then coming up, News 10 at 5 today. Today marks the 10-year anniversary of the Flint water crisis. And in many ways, the city is still struggling to recover. So we take a look at how the city has changed, why it happened in the first place, and what still needs to be done to get that lead out of their pipelines and take care of the residents in the Flint area. And then coming up, News 10 at 5:30, we are less than 92 days away from the Olympics in Paris. Can you tell we have the countdown going? Well, you can watch that right here on WILX TV 10 with many of the world's greatest athletes looking for gold. But beyond the medals, it's what most of these athletes look for right after they finish that makes the Olympics special. So we'll have more on what that means to all of those Olympic athletes coming up. Again, that is News 10 at 5:30, 92 days away from the Paris Olympics. Coming up, News 10 at 6 today. Our News 10 sports crew will have everything Lions. I'm going to turn it back because, of course, we just want to keep looking at the crowds over there. So we'll get off this little full screen here. We'll get another live look in downtown Detroit because why not? Very cool stuff. So our sports crew is there. Joey Ellis and Owen Ozist. We saw them walk out the door, and they are on the road to downtown Detroit for the NFL Draft and everything Lions. So they'll have that tonight. And they'll be building on to build on the success of last season. And then also the University of Michigan could set a record for most players drafted all of that excitement and fun and information coming up in News 10 at 6, just hours before the first pick is in. So you want to tune in for all of that excitement, because our News 10 sports crew will be keeping you up to date on everything. Again, all across the board here, you have Studio 10, News 10, and our sports crew all covering what is happening with the NFL draft in downtown Detroit. Again, for the first time that Detroit is hosting the NFL draft. Very exciting. And you'll have to see what University of Michigan players, of course, they did very well this season as the national championship. So make sure to go check that out. Again, first pick is tonight, and it carries all the way into Saturday. So 3-day event. Detroit is going to be very busy. If you plan on heading to that area, just make sure you are cautious of all the visitors, all the people around downtown. You want to be careful of the road closures and just anything else that is going on, all the events. So you want to give yourself also more time to travel, so that if there are any delays or little hiccups happening, you're able to adjust and be flexible with your time out on the road. So just a little note I want to throw out there before you head on down, and you want to avoid the frustrations as best as you can while heading out there. But sharing what else we have coming up. Again, Rochelle was sharing about the You're Not Alone mental health series. And again, we're sharing that all year long here on News 10. Different stories on different mental health topics. So whether it's gambling, addiction, anxiety, depression, stress, suicidal thoughts, anything of the sort. Maybe it's a trauma that you faced, or it could be something that started off small and maybe you're just feeling the weight of it more and more and you really need to get something off your chest. Talk to a mental health care professional who can understand what you're going through, provide that space for you just where they can listen. That is a great place to go, is the QR code for more of those resources. So just pull out your cell phone camera, scan that QR code and click on the link, and it'll bring you to our website, wilx.com. So that way you're able to check out more resources in the area, and also just check out the signs and symptoms for what those mental health factors could be as well. So again, sharing multiple different stories on News 10 on the You're Not Alone mental health series. But before we wrap up here, I am going to take another live look outside, because we are warming up into the weekend, as you saw on our website and from what Darren posted about in the mid-60s. Let me just make sure I'm saying that right. Let's go here. Oh yeah. All right, so we are in the mid-50s today, and then eventually moving on up to tomorrow to the mid-60s, and then Saturday mid-70s, and then Sunday you're hitting up on the high 70s and you're 78 degrees, and we shall see if we make it to the 80s. Darren said you might want to check back in for that too, so that would be awesome. But of course, this is a live look over Jackson, downtown Jackson right now, and you're seeing those blue skies, not a cloud in the sky. It is looking great over there. And again, just before I wrap up, we one more time giving you a live look in downtown Detroit. I feel like, yeah, more of those people are coming in. You're seeing them all on the sidewalk there. This is actually a really cool view to see everyone doing their thing. Walking all around, trying to figure out where to go, but those crowds are slowly piling up. So we will keep you up to date. And Studio 10 will have that again coming up 3 o'clock in just under 40 minutes here, followed by First at 4 and our 90 minutes of news. So make sure to tune in to us through the rest of the day here on News 10. We'll make sure to keep you informed. And other than that, I believe we have a few teases. So I'll pull up what we have coming up during our 90 minutes of news real quick, and then we can see what we have coming up from our reporters. But again, feel free to just check that out for a bit. I know it's kind of all over the board what we're talking about today. Again, talking about affordable housing on First at 4 in place of Mid-Michigan Matters. So the affordable housing is for this week's Listening to America. And then again, News 10 at 5 talking about the 10 years since the Flint water crisis. And News 10 at 5:30, the countdown, 92 days away from the Paris Olympics. And then, of course, talking more Detroit. So we're going to be talking about all of that coming up during our 90 minutes of news. But I do want to share what Mars Anderson has coming up during our 90 minutes of news, starting with News 10 at 5:30.
Hi Taylor, Mars Anderson here outside of the Capitol, where a rally just ended in support of Queenie's Law. It is a bill that looks to remove painful experiments from public institutions. I'll have more details on the law at News 10 at 5:30, but for now I'm going to toss it back to you at the studio.
All right, so that's what Mars has. And again, you can catch more News 10 at 5:30. And we're going to see what Deanna has coming up. News 10 at 6.
Hi, Taylor. Thank you. It's pretty loud out here on MFU's campus. These students have joined other colleges and universities in protesting against the war in Israel. Michigan State students are asking their Board of Trustees to divest from the war in Israel. I'll have more on this story coming up today on our 90 Minutes of News. For now, back to you.
Again, tonight, Jordan has this story, News 10 at 6. We're talking about all of those protests, the Palestinian protests, all across universities and campuses and colleges across the country. So yesterday we were talking about those happening at Columbia University, University of Michigan on their diag right there in Ann Arbor. And again, behind me, what Tanaya was showing you was more of these protests, and this time happening in East Lansing on Michigan State University's campus. You can see behind they have the flags, they have the different little posters, and they even have writing on the sidewalk as well. So she'll be sharing more into the Palestinian protests coming up, News 10 at 6. Just make sure to check it out. We'll have more of that information. So one more time, I will pull up what we have coming up during First at 4 and our 90 minutes of news, because there's a lot of different topics that are being covered today. So we don't want you getting lost in the mix. We want you to know what we have coming up today so that you can stay informed to the best of your ability, while we make sure to keep you informed to the best of our ability. A little teamwork right there. But again, as you head out the door today, it is looking beautiful outside, so just make sure to go enjoy that, and it will just keep getting warmer and warmer heading into the weekend with those beautiful temperatures over the weekend, and just keep an eye out for those scattered showers and thunderstorms. So one more time, First Alert Weather app, great tool to have on your phone. And like you can see in the background of that graphic, it's going to have that rain, and that's what you want to keep an eye on for this weekend. But other than that, that is what we have coming up on News 10. So we hope you guys have a great Thursday. If you are heading to the NFL draft, again, just give yourself time, have fun, and be safe. And hey, go Lions. Have a great Thursday, everyone.